Good evening. This is Miss Joy coming to you from Rayfield School with some information about Mr. George Washington Carver. He was a plant scientist who made great contributions to the field of agriculture and chemistry. He created more than 300 products from peanuts, soybean, and sweet potatoes. Carver received many honors and awards for his work. Many institutions, museums, and schools are named in honor of George Washington Carver. George Washington Carver was born in 1864 and he died in 1943. He was an African American scientist and an educator. He was kidnapped as a newborn baby. He was known as the Peanut Man. We also have another person that's known as the Peanut Man. I'll tell you a little bit about him at the end of this. Mr. Carver attended and taught at many universities and institutions. Mr. Carver's special studies stemmed from his accomplishments and reputation, as well as his degree from prominent institutions, not normally opened to Black students. Tuskegee Institute, which is now a university, is one of the schools in which he taught, and nationally renowned under Carver's leadership were many teachers and faculties who he helped to move ahead. At Tuskegee Institute, they gave him the honor of being a leader in this institute. President Theodore Roosevelt sought his advice on agricultural matters in the U.S., and the British Royal Society of Arts made him a member. That was a very rare honor for the British to have give him that honor. Mr. Carver was also the nutritional advisor to Mahatma Gandhi. Jimmy Carter, our 39th president of the United States, of course, was also called the Peanut Man. In Plains, Georgia, he did peanut farming. So peanuts are a very important part of nutrition. President Carter is our oldest living president, 96 years old. Thank you. Good evening. This is Miss Joy. I'm coming to you from Rayfield School. I'm going to read to you something about our people that's in history, Black history. Her name is Miss Alice Walker. She was born in 1944. In her younger years, she was very involved in the civil rights movement. She became a writer and teacher of literature at Jackson State College. She wrote mostly poetry. In 1970, she wrote her best novel, The Third Life of George Copeland. In the 1970s, she taught at Wesley College and wrote many books and poems. In 1982, she wrote her most famous book, The Color Purple. This book won the Pulitzer Prize, the American Book Award, and a National Book Critics Circle Award nomination. Steven Spielberg then produced the story as a movie, and it received several Academy Award nominations. That's Miss Alice Walker. This is Miss Joy coming to you from Rayfield. I'm going to read something to you about Miss Wilma Rudolph. She's one of our famous Black history person. This woman made incredible achievements in athletics. She was born into a family of 22 children. At the age of 4, she suffered scarlet fever and polio. This left her weak and partially crippled. The doctor said she probably would never walk again. She worked hard to prove that the doctors were wrong. She did learn to walk again and later found that she loved to run in track and field events. At the age of 16, she won the bronze medal in a rally at the 1956 Olympics. In the 1960 Olympics, she earned 3 gold medals in the race that she ran. This is Miss Joy. I'm coming to you from Rayfield School with some news and information about some of our famous Black women. This one you know very well. She's very popular, Miss Oprah Winfrey. This woman graduated from Tennessee State with a degree in speech and drama. She began working as a reporter and an anchor person in Chicago. She hosted a talk show in Chicago which was syndicated nationally in 1986. This was the first time an African American woman has hosted her own national talk show. It is now the leading talk show in the country. She then created her own production company and named it Harpo Productions. In addition, she was Miss Black Tennessee in 1971 and was nominated for an Academy Award for her work in the film The Color Purple. That was Miss Oprah Winfrey. Just a short few sentences about her life. We all know her. Thank you. Good evening. This is Miss Joy coming to you from Rayfield School. I'm going to read a few sentences to you about Mr. Duke Ellington. He was born in 1899 and he died in 1974. He is known as the greatest of all jazz composers and musicians. He wrote his first song at the age of 17. He went on to introduce the human voice as an instrument. He used echo chambers to create sound effects, add Cuban Latin elements to jazz, and create the jungle sound. He played in the Cotton Club in Harlem from 1924 to 1927. He received a Grammy for his achievement in the music industry. Mr. Duke Ellington. Thank you. Good evening. This is Miss Joy, and I'm just going to tell you a little something about Mr. Jesse Owens. He's one of our famous African American Olympians. Mr. Jesse Owens was born in 1913 and he died in 1980. This famous African American won 4 gold medals at the 1936 Olympic Games in Berlin. He was born in Oakville, Alabama, but later he moved to Cleveland, Ohio. At Ohio State University, his athletic ability was recognized when, in 1935, he broke 3 world records. In his career, this man set 7 world records. Thank you. Good evening. This is Miss Joy coming to you from Rayfield School with some information about our Black women in history. This lady is called Miss Ida Wells. She was born in 1862 and she died in 1931. She began working as a teacher, but she was dismissed in 1891 because of her militant resistance to segregation. She is best known for her anti-lynching campaign. In 1892, she became half owner of an African American newspaper called the Memphis Free Speech. In this paper, she strongly criticized the lynching of African Americans. Her work was not limited to the anti-lynching campaign. She also organized the Black Women's Suffrage Organization, the National Afro-American Organization, the Committee of 40, which led to the development of the NAACP. Thank you.